Welcome back. You're watching the Pod Invitational. We started with a 32-man field, and we have whittled it down to just 10 surfers, and quarterfinal number 4 getting underway with Kekoa. Cazimero getting a beautiful start. He has been logging big scores throughout. He had a tough entry into the lineup. He got hit by a clean-up set on his way out. He broke a leash, but quickly got back out there for the start of this clash, and is going to put a solid score on the board in the opening minutes. Ronnie Blakey with Ross Williams. Ross, take us through this one.
How's that? I mean, that is just pure accident right there. You know, he didn't want to start his heat this way in terms of getting cleaned off, but look what it did. It put him right in rhythm for this wave. You know, the boys are on the outside. He just kind of snuck to the inside shelf and bottom turned right into a nice lengthy barrel. I know it wasn't perfect. It had some chandeliers, but the judges will actually look at that as maneuvering and kind of just making your way through a very tricky barrel. That is difficult to do. You know, there's a lot of reasons to kind of get a rail caught, maybe get clipped on the head and fall, but he handled his business, so it should be a sweet score.
And there it is, an 8.73 for the 26-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, things are just kind of going his way right now, so it'd be cool to see if he can carry on this momentum.
And now trying to answer back and threading the tube, Ezekiel Lau. Coming close to qualifying once again. Well, there is just on 25 minutes remaining in this battle as we see a wave standing up and on the inside having a look. It is the surfer in blue once again picking this one off. Great wave selection there. That was green, sorry, Myles Padaca, a veteran here on the North Shore. He is going to log an excellent score. He will make that wave. He doesn't blow too many good ones out here. Well,
as we see the veteran Myles Padaca get himself a crafty little insider, just a quick barrel, should be just an okay score. In fact, it's a 3.5.
He won at some of the trickiest locations around the world, Jeffreys Bay a couple of times. He's won at Sunset, and of course that Pipe Masters, which Strider spoke about. But here we go, some movement. Here is his student, Ezekiel Lau, stalling, great control. Can he bust through the curtain? He got there late, a lot of force in those lips as they crash down.
Again, it's not pretty today. There's a lot of movement in the water. There's a lot of backwash and chops, and these guys have to earn these points.
Well, head down at the moment and paddling into this one. It's Myles Padaca again, finding a clean run through this pit. This will be his best score. Just over 3.5 minutes to go. He loves it. What a dismount. The deck chair. Well, just quickly before we see the replay, Luke Shepardson, he had a .77 earlier. He got stuck on the inside. Here's the replay of Myles on his last wave.
Kind of a classic pig dog stance there, grabbing rail. Had all his weight over his chest on his front knee. Just making sure, Ronnie, that he's going to punch through. He had no hesitation. He wasn't trying to stall.
Well, back to live action, and Ezekiel Lau gets into one of his best rides, finds a little layback on the inside, all style from the 22-year-old. And there is just on 2.5 minutes to go, and there's been a bit of shift up in the order here. Myles Padaca has jumped into the lead, his last wave, a 7. And Ezekiel Lau just had this.
Wow, barely got over the ledge. You can see he almost got airborne. So even though this was a fast barrel, the judges are going to love the fact that he really committed to that hefty drop. Again, he didn't have that nice kind of underneath it thing we were talking about where he was sliding underneath the lip. He kind of had to push himself over an elbow and almost get airborne and then slide down the face and pull in. So talk about an action-packed 3 or 4 seconds.
Well, he only has a 1.9 in his scoreline. He needed a pretty decent number to get himself into the lead. He didn't get there. He got a 4.9, so just getting a little bit cruel for the fact that that wave was an insider. And now we're seeing Kekoa Cazimero trying to back up that 8.73, and he'll do it. Finds his way through this one. Not super deep. Adds just a couple of small points with a nice little cutback on the open face. Bringing this one through to the inside.
Dang.
And bashes that last section. 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. And this one's going to go right down to the wire with more waves rolling our way.
And here he goes, and he's been waiting a long time to grab that backup score. Again, just feeling very groovy. It's getting stylish, layback snap, just a nice barrel, but nothing too crazy. And, you know, a very clean heat. He's going to be through.
Well, this is Ezekiel Lau. He needs a big number. Well, he will need a big number. We're waiting for Kekoa's last ride to punch in from the judges. Ezekiel Lau finishes with an air reverse attempt on the inside. Incomplete though. 35 seconds to go. Myles Padaca is holding on to the lead, waiting for scores for red. Ezekiel Lau and Luke Shepardson. They might be in trouble here, as Myles picks off a small backdoor ride. It opens up for him with just 15 seconds remaining. Looks like he's going to be marching on through to the semi-finals, Ross.
That's pretty cool. And, you know, I'm curious to what happened to the young Luke Shepard from the North Shore. I thought he'd go out there and get a couple of waves of his own, but that's pipeline today. It's kind of feast or famine.
From 10-point rides to waves on the head on the inside. A tough one for Luke Shepardson. Ezekiel Lau, it looks like he's going to fall short of the requirement. Kekoa Cazimero jumps into the lead with his last wave. Myles Padaca finishes in second.